Otherwise, I want to sort of introduce the company, talk a little bit about what we've seen and how we've generally helped. And then I'd like to sort of show you what we understand as websites and how we do them, and why we think those are sort of a little bit at the next level. And that might be something that you're interested in. It might be something that just gives you food for thought about what you want to do with your current services. Either way, hopefully we'll learn a little bit more about what we can achieve with websites today. All right, so who is Beehively and why would you listen to us? So we've been around since 2008. We started in Sacramento, California, and we actually started working specifically with 4 schools in the Diocese of Sacramento. We were helping them with their website. They asked us to build them a communication system, and so we did that. And so for the entire time that we've done websites, we've sort of seen websites and communication as intertwined things. We also went on to create grade books and student information systems and learning management systems. And now we're lucky enough to work with schools across the globe, particularly in the US. But it was a modest start, but that kind of helps inform the way in which we view what a website is and what it should do. So through our work, we've certainly learned that each school is different. We know there's a whole bunch of different needs. We've worked with independent schools, charter schools, public schools, as well as public districts, dioceses, high schools, pretty much everything from the K-8 space. And we do specialize in just working in education. So we do believe that we understand how to tell that story, and it's just a matter of connecting with the school and finding out the way in which they want to do it. At the end of the day, your website is a marketing tool for you that's going to drive your enrollment, your donations, keep your alumni in touch with the school. And essentially, our goal as a company is to make sure that you're all focused on what matters most, which is fundamentally the students. So the way in which we sort of view websites really is that there's 2 parts to it. You have got a public side of your website, which is absolutely for sharing your story, for getting that information out there, and for really communicating your unique point of differentiation compared to at least everyone else around you. And then the second side of that is the private communication side, which is where you communicate to that community, how you push out information, how you combine your social media, your newsletters into one place on a website. So for example, this is a quick spotlight of a school that we started working with in July last year. They were in the San Francisco area, and they really came to us with the fact that they were using a website that was not performing as well as they'd liked. They weren't able to make updates to it, and every time they picked up the phone, there'd be an additional cost to be able to do so. So they really felt a little bit stuck, and they had a contract that was continuing. We were able to sort of partner with them, be pretty flexible, help them save money, and sort of get them out of that situation and update them. And it's really nice that a year onwards, the principal there has a lot of lovely things to say about us. But that's sort of where we come from, just being able to help move away from stale websites, old websites, get you onto new updated things, and make sure that the modern interface is good, make sure that it's all mobile friendly. Something like 75% of people are going to visit your website from a mobile device these days. So having something that scales for mobile or iPad is really quite critical. It's that first impression they make when they get to the website, and may also be the last. So with all that said, let's look at an actual website and sort of communication aspect of these things. So if I come across to here, this is one of the websites that we do. We've been working with this school for 10 years. It's a real representation of them. They wanted to create a school website that was minimalistic, clean, modern, and really just gave the information that they wanted to give. So we really don't design from templates. That's not our approach. Our approach is one of partnership, generally where you guys would have a project leader, our project leader would work with you, and we'd go through the website and create it together. Your vision is what we make. There's been plenty of times that people have handed us essentially a back of an envelope sketch, and said go from there. So if I scroll down on this website here, towards the bottom, you've got these 4 boxes here. That's actually a feed from their Instagram profile. So it reports straight directly to their website, and then they choose where they want those to direct. So in their case, they don't actually want to funnel people back to Instagram. They want Instagram to bring them to the website, and then they want any clicks on here to bring them to the correct place. So if you come across their Instagram and you want to go to a tour and you click that, it's going to bring you to the website. And then if you click into tours, it's going to take you to a separate page of this website where you've got a video, and it sort of introduces you to the tour space. So that's one way in which they use sort of social media to just funnel back to the one key place. Up in this top navigation, we sort of see 2 different ways about going about this. Some schools like to go super minimalist, have just a couple of tabs and really clear call to action buttons, be that on enrollment, donations, or tours. So when you've got these options, you can do that. But what we find with most schools is they find that there's just too much information they need to display. So these 2 tabs are actually kind of split. The top navigation here from summer camps through to COVID-19, that's really your community information. So you're not going to need to go there if you're a student. That's someone that's coming to the site. You've got giving, events, calendars, all that sort of information that the community needs to know. Then the bottom listing of tabs is about the students, where I go, what might happen, academic, student life, community. So while it may look like a lot of things, that people that come to use them are either using a top menu or a bottom menu. It's rarely that they're using both. Now, when you want to jump into it and sort of get into some communications aspects, for them, we have a login right on their page here. You don't have to do that. You can log in through another way. And this will take us through to the private side of the site. Before I move on to the private side and the communications, are there any questions, any comments on anything so far? Getting a couple of head shakes, so appreciate that. I'll keep moving on. So just to kind of orient you now, what you're looking at is you've logged into the back side of it. So this is showing your school-wide page, but let me just open up this sidebar, quickly navigate down to administration. And under administration here, we actually have edit websites. So if I was to click on that, it's going to take you essentially to the CMS, or the central management system for the website, where staff under people would be allocated here, and they would be able to make edits themselves. So this is really where that internal person makes these edits. And you've got a whole bunch of things here, but most of your time you'd spend on pages and sort of creating there. But I really wanted to show that first, just as an example of, sorry, I went to the wrong page there, but I really wanted to show that first as an example of, this is where you go, this is why it's in one place, and then have a look at the communications. So once you've logged in here, there's a couple of things on this sidebar that are a little bit irrelevant to this conversation, such as the today page and student work. And as I said, we do student information systems and learning management systems. But what we're looking at today is just sort of the web piece. So if I came here, I've got everything I can do from my main community page. We have your people sort of listed in there. And if I open up a simple announcement, I can put whatever I want in here. It's basically designed to be familiar to any user. So it looks very much like composing an email or a Word doc. You give it a title, you send your message out. You can add emojis, you can add images, you can attach videos, whatever you would like to do from there. You've also got more complex tools. So you've got a newsletter tool here, and this newsletter can be configured so that if you send it from here, what happens is it goes to all your parents, it goes to all your students, it goes to your entire community, but you could also choose to have this automatically post to your website. So it's really tying in your website with your communications, and you can design it in here. You've got a mobile view that you can go through, You've got templates that you can breeze through, and adding, content, changing content, putting in different blocks. Images are all royalty free, and you're able to really manage everything from the one place there. You're also able to do video announcements, which one of the reasons I mentioned the school we work with, St. Finbar, is because they came back to us and said we'd really changed the way that they communicate. And so through their website, they had that presence, and then online, they would communicate through recording essentially a principal's address, basically every day. So they'd record that video here, immediately post it out. Once again, this emails all your staff, all your students, and they get that pushed straight to their inbox. You can also, again, feed this to your website, or it can just live on this internal page. And we break it up into groups. So we've just been talking about kind of the overall sort of school-wide type page, or institution-wide. If I was to jump into a second grade group, and it could be a basketball group, it could be a chess club, it could be a parent committee. Once again, you've got those same abilities, but it's catered now that the system knows this is only going to send to my second grade community. I can have calendars either on a second grade or a school-wide level that will also report straight out to the website. So you can make changes to your calendar here, it'll update in your website. Once again, just tying together that communication, and really what we see websites doing is being an entire online presence. So that's how you sort of differentiate between your different grades. And if you want to get more granular than that, what this also includes is a list of all your people here. So if I come down to the people section, this is kind of how we know which way any sort of announcement or communication should go, who should get it. You come in here and you've got your entire school community listed. If I were to, want to find out, home group is basketball, I can very quickly filter down to the staff and students in that group. Perhaps I want to say, type is student, and I just want to send a message to the students in the basketball team. It quickly finds that for me. I can click on them. I can say continue. I can send a email message from here. I can send that message as myself. I can send it on behalf of someone else, or I can CC multiple people. You can search and stack those search terms as you go.